Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 312. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man? This is the Easter / Passover episode.
That's right. Happy Easter, happy Passover to everybody who's celebrating right now. It's the high holidays. I'm going home to see the family. My brother is in town. He came in Wednesday, which is good because I haven't seen him in like a year. It's been a while. It's been a little while. Year and a half, maybe. It's been a while. Okay. So it's good. I'm excited. Yeah. He's gonna come in, hang for a little bit, go home, have a nice big Easter dinner,
and then at some point between now and next episode, they're gonna tell me about some obscure beer you guys covered because every time you guys hang out, you better believe it. Always find some obscure beer I never heard of before.
We're going to the beverage barn, and we're picking up some good stuff. They're pretty good. They do have a pretty big selection, and they're pretty close to home, so we'll definitely get some stuff and kind of rock it out. But yeah. Are you you doing the dinner and all that, hanging with the fam? I mean,
nope. I'm gonna be hanging at Home Depot as I continue to do my home renovations before my appraisal's done, so I can refinance my house to pay off my student loan debt.
Wow. Did it just get real adult in here? What happened? I thought we were a gaming podcast. Dan's talking about finances and refinances and home improvements and hot damn.
And you're talking about beer. Yeah, I know.
Exactly, Dan. Come on. One of us is talking about fun stuff.
We're talking about it's fun when your debt's paid and you're debt free and you can buy more video games now, right? Come on.
I mean, it's satisfying. I wouldn't be excited about it. I'm just like, all right, my debt's paid off. Now what?
All I gotta do is say, listen to Saturday Morning Retro, the May edition of all the new video games. I put myself back in a debt to buy.
Oh, see, there you go. Dan can't stop. He always says, I'm not buying any more video games for a while. I said, And then next week he'll have handfuls like he went pumpkin picking. He's like, boom, I got all this stuff.
I'm 55 games away from 5,000.
Oh my God. Ring the bell. Fireworks are going to go off. It's going to be monumentous. I want to know. You got to text me when you buy that 5,000th game. Jesus. Say that 5 times fast.
All right.
And I wait. And I want it to be an Xbox game too, an original Xbox game.
All right,
you got to do it.
It's going to be Barbie's Playhouse for the Wii U.
I mean, okay.
For my Wii U completion.
I will also take that. Yes.
All right. Let's start the show. We have an awesome show this week.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up, we talk big changes coming to the PS Plus and Nintendo Online subscription services, right? And Sony makes a big investment in Epic Games. But before we get into any of that, let's begin with rumors of the PSVR 2 being delayed 2023. It was never officially, let me just set this up. It was never officially coming out in 2022.
Well, they never stated it. Yeah.
They never stated it was coming out in 2022, but we got to see the controllers, right? The new PSVR 2 controllers. We got to see the headset.
Yep.
Right. And that was like a whole big thing. Like they released this is the new design for the headset, which is kind of similar to the old design. I didn't think they would deviate much from that, right? Because it was one of the most comfortable headsets out there on the market.
It felt pretty nice. Yeah.
And at GDC, people got behind the scenes at GDC, a lot of developers got a chance to, demo it and actually play with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that it would be ramping up for like a 2022 holiday release, right? Because you said it would be coming out now, and I said no, it's gonna be later on, maybe 2023, 2024.
Well,
holiday. Yeah. But you thought it would come out sooner than later, and I figured it would come out later just because of the supply shortage, right? Because it only works with the PlayStation 5, and you want to get as many PS5s out there as possible before you put out a peripheral that's probably the same price as the PS5 that only works with the PS5.
That is true. It's probably going to come out at like $400. And you do need the PlayStation to use it. They're not in the business of standalone units like the Oculus Quest or anything like that. So they're not going down that road. At least as far as we know, they haven't said anything that they're going to do like a low-powered standalone thing and you can play some games on there. So you're right. You do need those units out there. And you also need IP. And the only thing we've heard about is Horizon Call of the Mountain, right? That
was exclusive. Yes, correct.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other PlayStation title, Moss 2, is coming out for the original PSVR, so you wouldn't need to upgrade if you had it already, or you could just get an old unit. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to have some enhancements for next gen. You could almost guarantee that. And I'm pretty sure because the first Moss was a big hit. A lot of people liked it. It's not a surprise that they're doing a sequel. But
Moss 2, I think, already came out, and I think people liked it. It didn't come out with a physical. It was a digital only game.
Oh, it is out already?
So,
no way.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right.
It came out in March.
All right. Well, that game's out. So you need to have something else new, right? It's got to be something new at the time, right, to play. You get the whole back catalog, right, which will probably be compatible. I don't see why it wouldn't because they're PS4 titles. But you need more than just Horizon, all right? So what are the other games, all right? We don't know. Can you launch it with just Horizon and have a bunch of people buy it? I'm going to say no. You need puzzle games. You need, first-person shooters. You need action titles. You need stuff. So until that time, yeah. I mean, I still think it's going to come out this year, even though the reports are saying 2023. But
we got a report. Well, listen, it's still a rumor right now because again, it was never officially coming out. But this comes from Ross Young, CEO of Supply Chain Consultants.
Mm-hmm.
He put out sort of a tweet that sort of alluded to, the PSVR 2 may be coming out in 2023. VR display shipments on the rise 50%, right, in 2022, despite delays to 2023 at Apple and Sony. Big jump forecasted in 2023, which what I mean, VR displays, the only thing, it's only PSVR 2, right, that Sony is working on. That
specifically, it's interesting he mentions Apple in there, though, right? When talking about VR displays, like that. Well, that's a whole can of worms, too, right?
Well, we haven't really talked about this because, again, we're a gaming podcast, not like a tech podcast. But there are reports that Apple has been working on their own, VR headset or something along those lines.
Oh, sure.
That they won't put out.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't want to necessarily get into all of that, but you're right. The only thing is the PSVR 2 headset, right? That we know about. Unless they're gonna do like a portable thing, or unless they're gonna do like a I don't know, like something that's like $200, right? A more affordable one that doesn't require PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4, but doubtful. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shifting gears, just from the collector's standpoint, in my heart, Capcom, sort of released or announced the Capcom Fighting Collection. It's coming out in June, right? Hopefully that's a physical edition because it has a lot of the original Street Fighter and Darkstalkers and stuff like that on there.
Yep.
I do own the original.
Fighter.
It would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice to play them on modern systems like the Switch, right? Or the PS5 because I love the DualSense or the DualShock. I love the PlayStation controller for fighting games, where I like more so the Xbox controller for first-person shooters.
Right.
They recently announced that Capcom Arcade Second Stadium, right, with more classic arcade Capcom games that's coming out. They haven't really given any more detail on what games and when it will be released, but I love the classic compilations, right, where we get compilation of all the old games from prior systems for new systems, especially the ones that are obscure or hard to get or never got a release in whatever region you're in. So I'm looking forward to this. Please put out a physical edition. Come on, if Konami can partner with Limited Run, surely Capcom can. And Capcom partnered with IM 8-Bit for the Street Fighter and Mega Man collection cartridges.
Right. The re-release of the Super Nintendo cartridges, which one of those caught fire. So I don't know if they'd be using IM 8-Bit again.
No, they did first, and then it was a warning that it could catch fire. It wasn't that there were reports of fire. It was a warning that it could catch fire, and everyone went up in arms. And then they released Mega Man right after that. So,
yeah. So, I don't know. I wouldn't put that cartridge in my Super Nintendo. Because if you have to put a warning on there, which no other video game cartridge has had a warning on there of, hey, this may catch fire, which means they had one catch fire at some point and somewhere down the line. You don't just put random warnings on there. Do not ingest cartridge.
Now I want to get a Super Nintendo cartridge to just read the fine print and see if it says it catches fire. You never know. You never know.
Yeah. So I'm doubtful about the physical because I talked about it on the show. I downloaded it for the Switch and I got the free 1942 or whatever. I think there was another game you could get to.
Oh, Capcom Stadium. The original.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The first one. And it was great. It was like really cool. But it was built on the model of you buy these games piecemeal and you build out your virtual arcade and you can play them in like a virtual arcade space. Because there was a lot of games and they're like, I don't know, $4 to $5 a pop, I think, or maybe even a little more. They do a lot better. You can just kind of piecemeal buy them because in the end they would charge you more than a $60 release with because you want everything in it, right? You don't want anything left out. You want physical cartridge with all the games in there. And there was 30 or 40 games, 30 or 40 games at, say it's 40 games at $5 a pop. That's $200, which you have to get down to $60. So they would, they could potentially lose out a little bit, but.
Well, I can only hope. That's why I said hope. That one day they'll put out Capcom Arcade. Once they get their money up front with piecemealing, maybe they'll put them all out in the physical edition.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah.
At the end of the life of the Switch life cycle. Be one of the last games they come out with.
Yeah. So you do get this game 3 Wonders. Never heard of it. I don't know if it came out here. I don't think it ever came to American consoles. So that would be kind of cool, right? You were talking about the stuff that's a little bit more rare. You're not your Street Fighters, not your Ghosts and Goblins and all that. So.
Rare, obscure, yeah.
Right. So it'd be kind of neat to get into that because, Lord knows we don't need another Street Fighter collection again. Christ.
We got the Anniversary Collection, which has all the Street Fighter games on it, which I think is fantastic.
Oh, sure. We got that. There was one for PS2. There was one for PS1. There was one for Saturn. There was one for... they just keep coming out with new versions of it. And it's cool, don't get me wrong, to have the definitive edition, of all the Street Fighter games. But, they're easy to play is what I'm saying.
So, all right. A game that I'm looking forward to. I love wrestling games. I love wrestling. I wish we did a wrestling podcast. I wish you were into wrestling. I could talk about wrestling more. But Sadly enough, we're not. I would love to be a part of a wrestling podcast. I've been playing, WWE 2K22 the last couple of weeks. Love it. I think it's great. It's the best. It's the best it's looked in like 2-3 years, right? But I am eagerly awaiting the AEW wrestling game, and to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, AEW video game is tentatively planned to launch as soon as September of this year. So that's really soon during the holidays. Makes sense. That's kind of soon. We heard about them coming up with a game like 2 years ago, right? I think it was around 2 years ago. So would it be about 2 to 3 years? Hopefully that's enough time for them to make a really good game. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see how this game would be received and how it would come out and what modes it would be missing or they would want to add in future games. I think barring that this game is just a total train wreck where it's unplayable, like 2K, WWE 2K18, I think it was 18 or 19, probably 18 on the Switch, right? It was just unplayable. Barring that, no matter what this game is, people will, I think it will be well received because it's the first in a series, and they get feedback of what people want, what people don't want, and what they want changed. And the next one, the next AEW game, the second iteration would be the one that would be like really judged and put on a pedestal because that they would be expecting them to make improvements and add modes or, make the visuals even better or whatever was missing from the first one. I think they'll get a pass on the first one because it's the first one. So I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to be when it comes out.
I mean, it's also Ukes, right? It's the company that made the SmackDown wrestling games, since SmackDown 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 1. So I'm not worried. It's definitely going to be like a 7 or an 8 at a bare minimum, right? The question is it going to be a 9? Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be. Like, they're going to take everything they know about video games and the kind of wrestling world and all the experience they learned from the WWE days or WWF days. I mean, Christ. No, I think they had the name change. Did they have the name change at that point? Well, I don't know.
The WWF to WWE, I think was like in 2002 or 3.
Okay, so they were right around that, I think, by early 2000s when the first SmackDown games came out. So, so they were around since WWF, right? They definitely know their stuff. Are they going to mess with the engine so much, right? I assume it's probably going to be similar. It's not going to be like an Aki style system or like a Fire Pro system. It's probably going to be a little bit more button mashy with all the flourishes that kind of come with a wrestling game. I think you're right. I think they're probably going to miss out on some modes, right? I mean, also too, like you don't get the WWE branded modes, right? So you can't get Money in the Bank, right? You can't get Hell in a Cell, right?
Well, you can't get Royal Rumble. That's similar. You can get stuff. I mean, you can't get the name branded Royal Rumble, but you can get something. It was May of 2002 when they made the change. But.
Okay. So I think they were in it for a little more, right? But do they have? Does like AEW have the equivalent of the Royal Rumble? Do they have a 32-man?
They have battle royals. Yes, they have battle royals.
Okay.
Battle royals, yeah, and they have Death and Blood and Guts.
Okay.
Which is sort of war games from WCW.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So WWE doesn't really use that moniker in their main roster. They do use it in NXT.
Okay.
It was very popular in WCW, right? It was NWO versus WCW War Games at Fall Brawl, right? Like for the 2-3 years. So
right.
They have their own version. They have their quirks. Again, I'm anxious and curious to see how it will look and how it's going to come together. And the second one will be the one that's really going to get judged harshly because they're going to want more, right? And will it be a yearly thing like WWE, or will it be like sort of bi-yearly? So every other year. So we'll see.
I'm looking at a screenshot here. I'm assuming it's from the AEW game, right? Because it's from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com.
The only thing we've seen is a video package. We haven't actually seen real gameplay, but we.
Okay, so this like still, it looks like it's from the game. This dude looks weird. It looks like, you remember those like wrestling pillow pals? It looks like one of those.
I don't think the still looks that weird. Look at
the chest. It looks like he's like sewn together.
Well, again, it is a still, but we've watched the video because we've talked about it on the show, previously, probably a year or two ago. No, it was last year. I think we seen the video last year, and the video was fine. And you kept harping on you want to see gameplay. You want to see gameplay. You want to.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's really
a video package.
Yeah, that's like really the thing. How does it look in motion? Right. It could look fine. Right. This could be a situation of the new Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins Resurrected. Right. Where when you started playing it, it's like, oh, this is actually kind of charming. I can kind of get behind this. So maybe it looks better in motion, but and it's certainly a look. They are very stylized. They're not hyper realistic, so it's
well, they're going for that sports entertainment look.
Yeah, there you go.
He's down. So or arcadey look, I should say.
Right. All
right, Dave. Is that time of the show? As we always try to start the show, but epically fail. What have you been playing?
Oh, I've been playing, possibly, and we haven't gotten to
my dead body.
Haven't gotten to the game of the half year yet. All right,
don't even need to over my dead body,
which is a very exciting time, right? This game potential. Not even just game of the half year, but game of the year, Dad.
Over my dead body.
Elden Ring is fantastic. I love it. The more I play it, the better it gets. I got into this area. I went down this like this mine shaft into this cave, fighting these giant spider demons, right? There's all these like crazy mud creatures coming at me, and it's like beautiful. It's hues of blue and gold in this cave. I was like, wow. Like every time I come across a new area, it's like, wow, they really put the effort into this, right? Look, I know you hate the Souls-like gameplay, right? I know you're never going to play this game, even when you get it for $20. You're probably still going to protest and not play it. But aesthetically, Dad, when you look at the video for that, I mean, you really kind of have to see it, but it is beautiful, right? It is amazing. It's amazing.
No.
It's amazing.
No. Okay.
Okay. You're going to be a hater. That's fine. You're going to be a hater.
I just want to say, over my dead body, will it be game of the year?
You're going to be a hater. Well, I mean, the thing of it is, you're never going to play it. So how are we gonna call it game of the year when one have a rated G?
But that's where you're wrong. I am a proud owner, sealed copy, Elden Ring for the Xbox.
I know, and it will.
I didn't buy it.
I
took advantage. I took advantage of the 2-for-1 sales on Amazon and GameStop. And I do own.
Do you have it? Wait. I want to see on the back shelf. Do you have it next to your sealed copy of Demon Souls?
They are kissing each other.
Because that's where it needs to be. That's where it needs to be.
They are kissing each other. Well, it's no longer sealed. I actually did open it.
Oh, no. Did you install it? Did you install it?
I did not install it.
Okay, that's step two. That's step two.
It's open. It's open. It's open for a week. It's been open for a week. I will put it in.
Okay.
And try it.
You got to. The one thing I'll say is I've been rocking the same armor set for a long damn time. So if anybody knows where to get like decent armor, like the best piece of armor I have, the best helmet I have, I got in the damn cave with the cat demon. Help me out here, right? Is that a good helmet? Like I wear it because it's better than anything else I've come across.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no, it's not a good helmet.
Well, I mean, it's the best one I found. I haven't found a better helmet. Help me out. Like, I need to know where the better armor is. All right, because I've been trying. I'm a spell sword guy, so I do use magic heavily, and I only use like certain types of weapons because you got to have a certain level of dexterity or strength to wield a lot of these weapons. And I'm dumping all my point stats into mind and faith because I'm using all the, I guess, sorceries. I think all the fire magic. So I don't know, but I need some new.
I have no idea what you're saying, but I will when I pop it in eventually.
Oh, you got to try it, Dan. You got to try it. You're gonna appreciate it. I don't think you're gonna like it, but you're gonna appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, just like I did Bloodborne.
That's what I'll say. Yeah, but like you appreciate Bloodborne for what it was, right? It's not your cup of tea, but you kind of understand why people like it.
I thought it was the greatest looking game I never really got to play.
So there you go. There you go. You can appreciate the art style for that game, and I'll take that. I'll take that.
All right.
Elden Ring is beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
All right. So I've been playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the DLC pack.
Mm-hmm.
That's out
Finally
there.
Downloaded it.
I downloaded it. I have the expansion pack.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing other levels, and I beat it. There are 2 cups available right now, right? Yep. With 8 different courses. I think it's around 8 different courses.
Yep. 4 per.
I beat it on 50cc and got a gold, and I beat it on 100cc and got gold. So I'm slowly going through all the CCs to beat it on gold. I probably won't beat it on 200cc.
Oh my god!
But I'll give it a good college try. But I beat it twice. So I did beat both of those twice. Those courses.
I started doing the original ones on 200cc just because like you get it and you're like, all right, let me give this a shot.
Yeah.
I actually got the cup in a couple of the circuits. I did, but like maybe to like the third one. I think I got a silver and a bronze.
You have to be perfect. You can't make any mistakes.
That's 100% right. You got to have the right kart racer glider combination, wheel tire combination, and yes, you got to do the drifting. You got to know all the shortcuts. It's insane.
So if you want to, I will do a little tease. If you want to hear my opinion on an obscure kart racer game that I didn't even know existed, listen to April's edition of Saturday Morning Retro. Little tease right there. But I love to listen. I can't wait for the other courses to come out. I beat it. I enjoyed it. I want to go back and play it some more. I will say my racer, I always pick Link. I always pick Link on the motorcycle. That's my guy. That's how I beat. Like that, I'm more comfortable. I know the feel of having Link and doing. I love having him before on the older games like the original and then on the N64, which is still the best Mario game of all time, Mario 64. I don't care what anybody says. You can at me, but I would use Princess Peach. But now it's Link. I love Link. Love having Link in the modern game.
Sure, I love Link as a character. The motorcycles are tough. I go with the dry bones and the bitty buggy, which is the blue one with the little wings, and the blue tires. And I think I go with maybe the rainbow.
The blue tire. The blue tires are the off-road tires, right? Are those the off-road tires?
I forget what they call them, but they're the little tiny blue tires.
So I go with the big tires that are good for boosting.
Sure. Yeah. There's a lot of there's some people that swear by the bikes. There's some people that swear by the heavy the heavy kart racers because I think they have max top speed. But I like the mobility. I like the mobility of the light racers.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
All right. On that note, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. All right, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. Let's start with our lead story. Looks like PlayStation Plus and Nintendo Switch Online are making major changes to their subscription services. Actually, this started with Microsoft, funny enough. The CMA, the Competition and Markets Authority in the UK, actually are investigating companies and their subscription service practices, right? And Microsoft announced back in January that they were changing their policies with Games Pass subscriptions to comply with the CMN. And now looks like PlayStation and Nintendo have followed suit. So if you have a subscription service and it's on auto renewal, it will continue to charge you even if you're not using the service, which I'm sure we all are guilty of using services, or forgetting we even subscribe to services. Like I even subscribe to IGN.
I can guarantee, I can guarantee we have at least 2 or 3 services we do not realize that we are paying for.
Yeah, but you know what?
Because you get the 1 free month trial, right? Which, all right, hold on.
That's how they suck you in.
Side tangent. I was well. This is all kind of relevant. I signed up for Apple TV, right? Because Apple TV had Ted Lasso on it. Ted Lasso is great.
You love Ted Lasso. Yep.
Ted Lasso is fantastic. Mythic Quest is great with the with Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny and Ashley Birch. Great show. They're killing it with the programming, right? And I was watching the show.
They won an Oscar. I think Apple TV won like an Oscar after just coming into the business.
I'm
2 years.
I'm sure
over Netflix and everything. They all had, I think that was like the first streaming service to win an Oscar.
They have beautifully shot and beautifully orchestrated TV shows. Like, it is very much in line with the Apple ethos. But I was watching We Crashed, right? The story of WeWork, which is amazingly insane. I love that story. I mean, it sucked what happened to everybody who worked there and the whatever, but the story is fascinating. So I got recommended the story of Uber and the original Uber CEO back when it was Uber Car and whatever else, and how that dude got ousted. Spoilers, he gets ousted. But that show is on Showtime. So I got the first episode for free because they give you the first taste for free. It's what a good drug dealer does. And I wanted to watch episode 2, and I'm like, where's episode 2? Yeah, I wanted to watch episode 2, right? And it was like, oh, you have to sign up for Showtime. And I was like, all right, sign up for 1 month and I'll cancel it, right? I'll kind of binge the show and that's it. Because what do they have on Showtime but like that and Billions maybe are the only things I haven't watched. I could knock those out in a month. It's fine. I tried to cancel it right away, right? Because it'll cancel it and say, okay, it's going to expire at the end of the month or whatever, and you don't have to deal with it anymore, right? That's like the hack. Or they have websites you can sign up for where you can get like a fake credit card and put $1 on it, right? And use that number, and then when they try and recharge it, it's just a credit card with like $1 balance on it, and it's just going to flop. That's the other thing you can do about it, right? But I didn't want to go through all that. I don't have one of those accounts. I don't have burner cards or whatever, this and that. So I used my card, and I tried to cancel it. I went to Apple, right? On my phone, I'm going to Apple in the settings, and I'm looking in my account. I don't see the extra subscriptions. I just see Apple. I don't see Showtime. And here's a link to go here, and here's the link to go here, and then you got to log in and this and that. It's like a half an hour later, I almost chucked my phone across the room. Why it got to be so difficult, right? So
I understand
why it gotta be so difficult. There's no reason.
It's worse to cancel a gym subscription.
Oh right? My God. Yeah.
I canceled for New York Sports Club, and they had me waiting an hour for the person to come. Right?
Of course.
Like, I worked out.
Yeah.
And they waited an hour because they wanted to see if I would leave. And I waited, and he came in, and he tried to convince me. It was like, yo, can I just cancel? It's costing me $100 a month that I don't have. Exactly. Can I just cancel?
Right.
So, no, I understand that. I feel your pain. And
I bet
Apple thing. It's an everybody thing. They all do that because they want they want to deter you from canceling any subscription service.
Yeah. So to bring it all back, right? This is some of the most, it warms my heart. This is like when the Grinch's heart grew like 10 times, right? And the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. The fact that there's like pro-consumer news out right now, right? That all the big 3 console manufacturers have now all put this thing into place to where, it's 2 things, right? When you set your account up, you have to go into your account to set it up to be auto-renew. And at least in the case of PlayStation, I think also Nintendo, but definitely Sony, that inactive accounts, they will cancel your subscription, right? If it's inactive for a couple of months.
Well, no, they're gonna send you an email. They're gonna notify you that you haven't used your subscription and send you a link to cancel if you want to cancel. And in that case, if you still don't cancel after I think another month or two, then they are automatically going to cancel it for you.
Right.
They will stop. Well, they will stop taking payments for inactive accounts, I should say.
Right. So yeah, this is great. This is probably the best news we could hope for in this situation, right? Obviously, it's bad for these companies because they make a lot of revenue on ghost accounts and whatever else, and people forgetting, right? And they're like, well, it doesn't matter to us, right? You're still paying for it. We assume you want the service. That's what they're going to say about this. So glad that their hand was forced. Definitely all about this. I'm doing a dance right now.
No, we're in agreements. We're there's no debate on this. We are totally. This is pro-consumer for all three companies. And you know what? I wanted to extend to other companies like Netflix.
Oh yeah,
Plus,
yeah.
Anything that takes a subscription.
Get on board.
Yes,
get on board.
Yeah,
there should be a law. There should be a law. I'm just going to say this across the board because there's no reason that this could be bad in any way. If you don't log into a service for, let's say, 3 months, canceled. You don't log into a subscription service where you need to actively watch stuff, right? Not like, oh, I'm paying for something that's passive or whatever else, or a security service or whatever. These streaming services, 3 months, they should automatically cancel or put it on hold, send you an email and say, hey, we noticed you haven't used your account in a while, right? Do you still want to continue with this or whatever it is, right? That would be amazing. Everyone should get on board with that. If the CMA can do this for these companies, who's to say that they can't do it for Netflix and other streaming services?
Nope. Correct. I'm with you on that. This needs to be across the board for any subscription.
Right. So, we would save so much money. And you know what we're going to do when we save all that money? We're just going to buy more shit. So it's a win-win.
That's true. We're going to put it back into the market. We're going to buy new stuff. So.
Exactly.
All right. Well, speaking of buying or investing, right? Mm-hmm. It looks like Sony and the company that owns the rights to Lego have pumped $2 billion in investments into Epic Games. Now, prior to this, Sony has invested $250 million and $200 million, so $500 million. Let's just say over $500 million in Epic, and now they've invested another $1 billion in Epic. So why do they? No, listen, we're not going to get Fortnite exclusively on Sony platforms or anything like that.
No,
this isn't PlayStation. This is Sony, the company, investing into Epic Games because they're investing in potential metaverse that may be coming in our future.
Oh, no. Right? Metaverse is definitely happening. Yeah. And Sony wants to be on board for sure. And I think this is a good move, right? We see Zuckerberg doing it with their company Meta and Facebook. They're kind of making moves.
Do they own that name now? Because they didn't really own the name Meta. Yeah, they didn't own. They changed it to
Meta's the parent company. Facebook is the.
They didn't own. They didn't own when they changed the name. They did this whole big thing about changing the name, but they didn't really own the name. There was an issue, but I'm sure they bought that other company out.
Oh, I think they worked. Somebody else was in kind of the tech space. Interesting.
And had Meta. I think they were sitting on it. So
I'm pretty sure they worked it. Oh, yeah. Then yeah. If they were just sitting on that name, yeah, Facebook definitely owns it. Zuck definitely owns this. So yeah. So those are like the two. Yeah. Those are the two big companies, right? There's large scale online games. There's the Robloxes and the Minecrafts, and I mean, talking about Fortnite and all that, but that's only the beginning of it, right? What's the Web 3.0 experience? What's the metaverse look like, right?
We already know it. We already know what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like PlayStation Home, except for with better graphical fidelity, 60 frames per second and more details, right? Like
and also a VR headset, right?
A VR headset and more stuff to do, and not just an empty world. Yeah,
I know you're like, I know you're half kidding, but I loved the idea of PlayStation Home. I thought it was so cool. I love getting into a world.
I was trying to spruce up my apartment that I had.
Right?
I had a penthouse apartment. Right? I was trying to spruce it up.
It had such good ideas. I think it was a little too early. Not to mention, I think the biggest problem was, and it was kind of part of their like thing. It was like if you wanted to like go bowling, right? Because there was like bowling in the world. You would walk over to the bowling alley and you'd go in, and if people were using the lanes, you had to wait until they were done because it was supposed to be like a real world experience, right? There's X amount of lanes, people go in there and this and that. And that kind of like threw people off, right? I get the idea behind it. Like you want to feel like it's a living, breathing world, right? Like kind of like a Grand Theft Auto, but without all the guns and all that, right? But it's boring waiting for someone to finish bowling. So, but I think now, 15 years later or whatever it is, like they're ready to come back. Yeah.
It's just like awesome. When people had the idea of doing the magazine online, exactly like a magazine. Mm-hmm. That's boring.
Oh, yeah, no.
Right? No. You can go beyond that.
Right.
You do so much more because the magazine had limitations because it was a physical magazine.
Right.
And,
right.
You know, ink, paper, how many pages, you know, stuff like that. Page, you know, so. Yeah, no, I can see that. You're totally right, but that is the future, right? Ready Player One, it will be reality when you know in another 10 to 20 years.
That's definitely where we're going, man. And
that's where we're going.
I'm definitely here for it. I'm here for it.
All right. Well, again, that was $1 billion in investments. Investing is not sexy. People want to hear acquisition, right? Mm-hmm. Sony didn't acquire Epic Games, which is now listed at a price of $31.5 billion, right? So, I know.
That's a sexy number right there, right?
And there are reports that Sony isn't done acquiring studios. Mm-hmm. But the studio that they probably are not acquiring will be Kojima Productions, as Hideo Kojima has said that Kojima Productions will remain independent after Sony tweeted a studio banner with Death Stranding in the banner, right? So everyone thought that Norman Reedus and Death Stranding represented Kojima being purchased by Sony, but that is not the case, according to Kojima. And that banner tweet coincided with a tweet from Kojima moving offices. And it was a picture of him in an empty office with cables all around because they're moving offices after 5 years. And people thought, oh my God, they bought Kojima Productions. But Kojima is in the works right now. Well, according to all the reports last year, at least, in the works with making a game or in the works of working with Microsoft because he's using their online, infrastructure. Right, because his idea is sort of an online thing. So, can Sony still buy them and they can still work with Microsoft? 100%. Right, MLB The Show is on Switch. It's on Microsoft.
Wow. I mean, after 10 years of exclusivity, but yeah, I mean, and to say that Sony would buy Kojima Productions, they would want to. I think they do.
I don't think so. I'll be honest. I don't think they want to per se, because other than ideas and Death Stranding, unless they buy Konami, Kojima Productions and Kojima haven't really done anything by themselves.
They made Death Stranding. That's the thing they made, and it took them. It takes a while.
That's the one thing.
The company got founded in like 2016, 2017, and that's the game they were working on, and it's a masterpiece. And it may not have necessarily done the numbers that Sony wanted because it was a very weird game.
It sold a lot, just like Days Gone actually sold a lot.
I still don't think it did the numbers that they were expecting.
Above expectations. You know what it is? Sony
it's a very polarizing game. It's very polarizing.
By what Sony is really, they're going for that critical success, not just numbers, right?
Well, that's
Days Gone.
That's Death Stranding.
Sold.
That's the game.
Sold a lot. Has a cult following. And it sold enough to warrant a sequel, right? And we talked about last week with the creative director of the game actually leaving and going to work at Square-Enix, right?
Right, Crystal Dynamics, I think,
Crystal Dynamics, right? And all because that they turned down the sequel to Days Gone that sold well enough to warrant a sequel, right? Comparatively to other games, but it didn't compare in the Metacritic scores because they're looking for critical acclaim.
Well, Death Stranding that's the game. Critical success. It performed above numbers
for us.
Sony bankrolled it, right? Yeah, game of the year. Like, why would Sony not want to buy it? Japanese studio buys a Japanese studio, so you wouldn't get any friction from the government per se, right? They would be like, okay. If Microsoft wanted to buy them, dirty Americans coming in there and trying to buy a Japanese studio, they may say something about that, right? You may get a little bit of friction there, but I think Kojima wants to be independent for the simple fact that Konami and him butted heads a lot. I was amazed by all the creative control that he was able to get and the games he was able to put out there. But towards the end, it was really bad with him and Konami because, they don't make video games anymore, right? They don't make video games anymore. So
they still kind of. I mean,
they don't.
They don't. That Contra game.
And it was terrible.
Konami, right?
Yeah, and it was terrible. It's not what anybody.
I just said it. Whoa! You didn't say they still make great games. You said they don't make games. They do make.
They made one game. They made one game. The games they make are mobile games.
Metal Gear Survive. Metal Gear Survive is the second.
And when did that come out? 2017. They don't make games anymore.
But
You're proving
saying
my point.
They still
You're
make
proving
games. They
my
just
point.
don't make good games.
Okay. Regardless of all of that, Kojima had terrible trouble and doesn't have the rights to any of his stuff anymore, which is sad. And he's like, I want full creative control. And Sony was like, we love you. We're going to give you some money. You do you. And he did. And he made the game that he wanted to make. So,
and it was good. It was good PR for Sony. It was good PR for Sony as well at that same time because
100%, 100%.
They came from sort of like just trumping Microsoft with the E3 presence, right? Like
yeah. They had the big four. It was Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, and The Last of Us Part 2. And all of those games, amazing. Like 10 out of 10s across the board.
Except for Death Stranding. Definitely not a 10.
Oh, come on now.
I wouldn't give it a 10. Sorry. 8.5, maybe 8. The
10, baby.
I will say this: 10. The best looking game I've ever seen in my life.
No. It is amazing.
All right, let's shift gears. Let's talk about Nintendo. All right, and I think this is a difference in philosophy. You see Microsoft buying big name studios, spending a lot of money buying big name studios for the IP, and we know why. They want to boost Games Pass. Sony, not necessarily buying big studios for the IP, but buying studios for their talent, right? To make games. And it looks like Nintendo is looking not at the acquisition front to buy studios necessarily, but they just bought the empty plot of land across the street from Nintendo headquarters because they are looking to expand what they already have and grow their R&D department. Right.
That is in-house development. Maybe for the new Nintendo Switch.
Right. Nintendo Switch, the new Labos, and whatever other else wacky stuff they can come up with. Right. Sure.
R&D is also video games, though, right? There was R&D 1, 2, whatever. They named those their game divisions. So we could see a lot of good stuff.
R&D 2 didn't R&D 2 famously make the Mario series? Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I love that it's the shift in thinking, right? Because Nintendo is not going to go out and buy a studio, even though they should buy Retro. I'm still saying they should buy Retro Studios.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they already own the IP, the major IP that Retro makes, so they should just go buy Retro Studios.
I don't even. I'm sure they have, but I don't. I would almost bet money that they've never made a non-Nintendo product.
No, that's not true. If we look, they did make. I can't think of it. We talked about this too. I can't think of the top of my head, but they did make a non-Nintendo product, but it wasn't good. Yeah. And then the other one that they made got canceled by Microsoft.
Right. So right. So yeah, they might as well.
Oh, not retro. I meant Platinum.
Platinum games. Oh, yeah.
Platinum games. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think Retro Studios has made nothing but Nintendo games. Why not just bring them into the fold? Yeah.
Well, Retro Studios is in the fold now, right? I think they did, but no, they purchased them recently. I think they did purchase them recently. Okay. I was thinking of Platinum games when I said Retro.
Right.
For that. Yeah. I meant Platinum games. They should just purchase because they should.
You are correct.
Platinum games.
The parent company is Nintendo. Yeah.
Yeah. They purchased Retro Studios a while ago, but Platinum Studios they should just purchase. I mean, just get it over with, and then they can come out with. That canceled Xbox game just rebranded something else since Xbox.
Scalebound is done, Dan. Scalebound.
Yes, come on, call it something else. Call it Mario Rides Dragons or something. I mean, come on.
Now I want this game to come out. Now I want Mario Rides Dragons with that exact title on top of the dragon from the Xbox One. Assets. That's what I want. Pop them on top. There we go.
There we go. This
is what Odyssey 2 needs to be.
Yeah, Mario just throws the cap on the dragon. He takes over his dragons. Mario riding dragon, and it turns into an RPG. That's what it should be. I mean, listen, Splatoon started out as a first-person Mario shooter.
That's right.
They took Mario out of it. They put Squid. So come on, they can do it
for the best. They got a brand new great franchise out of that.
And you can have somebody riding a dragon as their great new franchise. You just you can put Mario in it too in the background. You don't have to have him in the foreground. Come on. But I love the strategy of Nintendo saying screw this. We go from in-house and we grow it, right? And Sony is just buying talent to work on new IP or existing IP, and Microsoft is just buying IP because they don't really have that long history that Nintendo and Sony have, right?
Not as much. No, they missed a couple generations. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I can see, it sort of makes sense. I still think, and this is as a side note, I was, I love that retro stuff. I love listening to and watching retro video game shows from back in the early 2000s, late 90s, right? With Electric Playground that was actually in TV and on public access in America. I love watching GameSpot TV, which turned into sort of with Adam Sessler, and it turned into
G4
TV. And I was actually watching on YouTube the other day. And when Sega stopped the Dreamcast and said they would go third party, there were nothing but rumors that Nintendo was in talks to buy Sega for $2 billion at the time. Right? Obviously, Sega would be worth more than $2 billion. So Nintendo should be kicking themselves because they should have just bought Sega at that time because all the Persona games, everything would just be sort of Nintendo exclusive, which would be phenomenal. Judgment, Lost Judgment, all of those, Yakuza, all those games would be Nintendo exclusives right now. Right. Imagine us saying, "Oh man, can't wait to play those Judgment games on our Switch."
We could be
playing
the
Wii U.
We could be playing the latest iteration of Golden Axe or
That's true.
Jet Set Radio. Where are those games?
That's true.
Come on now.
That's true.
They tried to make that terrible Beast Rider game, and come on, Sega, what are you thinking?
I still would want Nintendo to buy Sega. I don't want Sega unless Nintendo buys Sega. I don't want Sega to go anywhere else. I think the next acquisition, if it had to be a big one, because I think Microsoft is out of the big acquisition race right now. They may buy somebody small. But they're out of the big one because they're focused on making the Activision Blizzard thing actually go through, right? Because it hasn't actually gone through until the summer of 2023. I think I can see Sony buying Square, to be honest. And then all the next Project whatever games will be on the PlayStation console. But this is interesting. They're buying land and building. Nintendo's buying land and building another Nintendo, sort of like a Nintendo headquarters too. That will look exactly the same. A big white and gray building right next door. That will be done. I think it's 2027 in 5 years, 5 to 6 years. So that's cool. Speaking of mergers and Microsoft, looks like Tony Hawk developer Vicarious Vision has officially merged with Blizzard, and will now be called Blizzard Albany, because Vicarious Visions was a developer in Albany, New York, which I did not know. I did not know that. So now we have a big company in Albany, a big video game company in Albany, which will be owned by Microsoft by next summer.
One of the only game developers that I know that's in upstate New York, which is crazy. Which is crazy. They're going to maintain their offices, I think.
They are. That's why they're called Blizzard Albany now. Which they should have just kept it Vicarious Visions. I mean, why even call it Blizzard Albany?
Because you gotta meld into the company, right? You gotta meld into the fold, right? You gotta fold in.
Yeah.
I am very sad about this news because, I'm sad about this news because we're not going to get any more new Tony Hawks. They are on Blizzard duty, or not Blizzard duty, Diablo duty. They are on Diablo 4 duty, and maybe even Diablo Immortal, the mobile version. There is nothing on the horizon for Tony Hawk at the moment.
I mean, there is reports that there is a Tony Hawk game in the works, and they could be working on it. You don't know. They could be working on it.
I think it's an all hands on deck for Diablo. I mean, we know all the stuff that happened with Activision Blizzard. The Blizzard side of things was certainly at fault too. Some people higher up, a lot of people got kicked out. Microsoft is almost there. They haven't inked the deal yet, but they're getting there. It seems like Microsoft is going to buy them. Well, I don't see them as much as they should, because the remake of Tony Hawk 1 and 2, the remaster, and I'm gonna say this on camera, Dan. I'm gonna say this on camera with authority: the best remake ever. The best remake.
Wow,
it's amazing. Wow. They did it. They did it right. Critical success, commercial success.
I think that's wrong. I think Zelda. The Game Boy game that was remade.
It's very good. Don't get me wrong.
The best remake of all time.
No. It's very good, but it's not Tony Hawk. I mean, Tony Hawk 2 is regarded by like people. I mean, it's the best skateboarding game, and one of the greatest games of all time. I mean, just amazing. You pick the controller up, you're good, you go. They did everything perfect about this new one. They got almost all of the music back. I think they missed like 3 tracks maybe they couldn't get. They added a bunch of new stuff, bunch of new tracks in there. I mean, everything about that game is amazing. To make Tony Hawk 3 and 4, which is what everyone wanted, and everyone thought, oh, the game did really well. It's selling like gangbusters. Let's make another one. And now Diablo is having trouble. Let's go ahead and move them on to Diablo.
I think Zelda is the best remake of all time.
All right, fair enough.
But
it's up there. It's up there. Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is amazing. And I'm
do you think this is a move? Do you think this is a move Microsoft had to sign off on, or maybe they're the ones who encouraged this move, right?
No.
Purchase in a year from now?
I think it was going to happen regardless, because they moved on to Diablo early. They moved on to Diablo I would say a little bit after Tony Hawk 1 and 2 came out, and it was sad.
I know, but maybe Microsoft said, listen, we want to consolidate all of this. Let's bring Vicarious Visions in and just merge and screw it. Put them all together with Blizzard, right?
Well, that's a good question, because they haven't inked the deal yet, right? So what leverage does Microsoft have?
Well, I mean, again, these things don't happen overnight.
Right.
Okay. Vicarious Visions doesn't merge with Blizzard over a drink yesterday. Right? This is something that had to be in the works for months. And maybe this was part of the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, where Microsoft said, you know what? We want Vicarious Vision officially. We want to just blend them in with Blizzard. All right. And they have to be a part of acquisition?
I mean, Activision has owned them since 2005. So they've been under the Activision umbrella. They are just now a Blizzard extension, which they are now Team Diablo. That is 100% what that is.
Well, there are a lot of moves. You got this move, and you got another move that Activision is opening up another studio to work on Call of Duty games, right? So they can have 3 studios officially back to making Call of Duty games. Is that something that we didn't cover 2-3 weeks ago because it didn't make the run of show? But it's something that, again, is that something that Microsoft says, you know what? I see that was a plan and that's what we want. Keep going with that because that's going to be a part of the acquisition, right? For the price that we're paying. Sure. Or is that something that would have happened anyway, no matter what?
Microsoft definitely didn't discourage it. I mean, half the reason they bought them was for the Call of Duty. I think 3/4 of the reason was Call of Duty. That's their cash cow. So yeah, I mean, I think Microsoft would have fostered it regardless.
I want to say the power of Call of Duty and Fortnite because some people don't understand that. I actually earlier today I was at my uncle's house and his granddaughter, my little cousin, she's got to be at least 8 years old. Okay. She got to be 8 years old. I'm going to say 8. I'm going to only say 8. She's maybe a little bit younger, a little bit older.
You should know the age of your relatives, Dan. Come on.
Well, I don't know. I can't. I'm old right now. I can't memorize everybody's birthday. I can't
bad with numbers, folks. He's bad with numbers.
I can't. Okay. I can't memorize everybody's birthday. I can't memorize everybody's age. Okay. No, I just know. Let's.
She's about 8.
We're gonna go with 8.
Okay.
And she can be a little bit younger or a little bit older. She can be a little bit younger or a little bit older.
Okay. All right. Plus her 2 8. There you go. Plus or minus 8.
Plus a 2. Plus a 2. Plus or
minus 2. Yeah.
Or an 8. Okay. So that's what we're going with. She was playing Fortnite when I got to the house. All right. And just like my other cousin, who is like 14, won't let me play Fortnite with them because I'm not good.
You gotta get.
She won't let me play. She won't let me play Fortnite with her because I'm not good, right? And she was playing Call of Duty. She is so good at Call of Duty.
Wow. Okay.
First, I was shocked that they allowed her to play Call of Duty.
Yeah, but, 8 seems a little young, right?
These kids grow up fast. They mature fast. She's allowed to play Call of Duty and cook breakfast by herself. So she's mature.
Wow. She's mature.
She makes great pancakes. I'm just saying that. She makes great pancakes.
She's straight up part of Destiny's Child, independent woman, right?
Yeah,
I play my own video games. Pancakes. I make my own pancakes. That's amazing. Oh, I love that story.
And she's good at Call of Duty. She was and she was playing online.
Right.
She was playing online.
Right.
She was playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3 or 4. No, 4, right? It was 4.
4 was the latest one. Yeah. 4's the
she's playing Black Ops 4. She was playing Black Ops 4 and she's good. I was like, I don't have the dedication. She won't let me play Call of Duty with her. She says I'm not good enough.
Well, I mean, bringing it back to the 3 studio thing. That's they had it at a high point. It was Infinity Ward, Raven, and the other one. I don't know. No, they had the 3 studios going at their peak, right? So it was a 3-year development cycle, which is great for devs. Yeah, I think it's also good for the franchise too, right? Because you get different developers doing different things, getting their own spin in it, right? So you kind of got, you got all the different kind of there was the, the Black Ops stuff, the, the regular kind of Modern Warfare, the old school Call of Duty, all these different franchises that were in the kind of the Call of Duty universe. They kind of, put their own spin in it.
And Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and Raven.
Treyarch, Sledgehammer, yeah.
Yeah, and Raven was sort of a support studio.
Right. So there you go. Good to see that back. Hopefully there's some new exciting stuff coming in the Call of Duty world because, the last one I think not so great. Not so great.
I thought the last one was great. To be honest, well, you didn't play it. So be fair,
online. I'm going off online reception. Okay.
Have your own opinion. I'm thinking Call of Duty
I'm just telling you what the fan reception is.
I thought Call of Duty Vanguard was fantastic, actually, and honestly, I almost nominated it for Game of the Year because I thought it was fantastic, but it was right behind Lost Judgment, which I wanted to nominate for Game of the Year, but then I thought Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, sort of had, I think, my honorary nomination.
Sure.
So many good games last year.
I just want to say 73 from the critics, 3.5 from the users.
I think it got review bombed for a reason. I forgot why, and we don't talk about every little thing that happens in games, but it got review bombed for. I mean, it was a review bomb.
73 is still like it's so okay. It's a great
game. I think it's a great game.
It's okay to good. Okay, all right.
I think it's a good game.
Okay.
All right, let's get into our last story. Square-Enix. Speaking of Square-Enix, who I think still may be acquired by Sony, has officially announced Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yep. Big news. Big news. Hot off the heels of 3. Which did well.
Hot off the heels of 3. That's... I don't know, unless... what new can you put in the Kingdom Hearts game, right? Like, Part 3 was like the culmination of every 1.5, 2.5 remix, that was the culmination with like everything in it. What new stuff can you put in that's monumental for a fourth game, right?
It's not like an okay. Well, hold on. It's not that the franchise is any different from the first one. The gameplay formula is pretty good. But the worlds are different, right? The characters you interact with are different. There's a lot of good stuff, man. There's a lot. I mean,
what new can you put in it?
There's a ton of stuff. I mean, look. If you want to go expanded Disney universe, you could technically call on Star Wars, and you could call on Marvel, right?
Well, there you go.
But I don't even think they need to do that. I think they could. I think they could stick with the core Disney stuff.
I don't think there's a.
They've only done
used all the big Disney stuff. Think about it: Beauty and the Beast. Off the top of my head, Toy Story, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella. I mean, they've used all of those core.
Wait a minute.
Movies.
If we're gonna bring all the
that's obscure,
if we're gonna bring all the Pixar stuff in there, you've got Brave, you've got Finding Nemo. You got Turning Red, the latest one, which was great. Inside Out. I mean, Pixar has got a ton of stuff. You could do. I don't think they've done Tangled yet, or Princess and the Frog, or I'm just spitballing off the top of my head.
Whoa. Okay, first
there
of all,
is a lot left on the table. Then
Princess and the Frog is sort of it's something that you say that's not going to sell the game. Okay, Princess and the Frog.
Well, it's not the only world.
Wars and Princess.
It's not the only world. Dan, you're going to have a lot of worlds in there. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of untapped material. You're definitely wrong about that. There's a lot of good A-grade untapped material.
No.
Yeah.
I totally disagree. There's not something.
Well, now wait a minute.
That's top tier. Wait a
minute.
That would sell the game.
Did you play the first
Disney.
one?
I have them. Yes.
Did you play the first one?
I played 1.5, so that counts. I played 1.5.
Okay, so you played like 10 minutes of it. Said okay, this is what the game is. And I know you played a bit of.
And 3. I love the original.
I know you played a bit.
I love the third one. I played a lot of the third one.
Okay.
I think I hope I'm more than halfway through because that game is long.
Between those,
I've seen a lot of different stages, and I think they're amazing. I love this. I think they use all of the core Disney stuff.
No,
because
between those three games, there's only like 20 worlds, right? There's a lot of characters, right? You see the 101 Dalmatians, or you see the Fairy Godmother, or whatever. You see them throughout the world. But you haven't necessarily been to the world of 101 Dalmatians, right? You did collect all the little puppy stamps or whatever in the first one.
But that's not enough to get me for a fourth game, though. Just because they have 101 Dalmatians world doesn't.
I don't know. I'm not Square Enix and I'm not Disney, but there is a ton. There is a ton of untapped material.
I could see the Star Wars Skywalker saga with Goofy.
I mean that technically
and Mickey and all that. I can see that.
That technically could happen.
Lightsaber versus the key.
The Keyblade, yeah. I mean, it would be awesome. I think fans would want it. Do you think Disney would allow it? Because Square-Enix would probably be like, yeah. You think?
Yes. Because we have a lot of Star Wars coming out, right? We have KOTOR, the remake, right? We just have the Skywalker Saga, which I should have. The Lego Skywalker Saga, which I should have on the Switch coming early next week.
Sure.
They do want to work on a new Star Wars trilogy a couple of years from now. So maybe you get the sort of the Skywalker, the old Star Wars stuff out now while it's still popular and in people's minds before you sort of reboot the franchise and go 100 years in the future from the Skywalker saga and do something totally different, right? So get it while the iron's still hot now and do a Kingdom Hearts Star Wars collaboration. You have enough worlds there for it to be a full game. I could see that. And then you could throw in your Princess and the Frog, which would be a throw-in because no one's going to care that the Princess and the Frog.
It's not the only world that would be in the game. And again, I'm just spitballing. I gave you at least 7 or 8 different unique properties, let alone all the other Pixar stuff I didn't even mention. Well, that is core Disney, right? It's the Disney movies and the Pixar stuff. I think fans would love to see the Star Wars thing, but and you could make it work. I mean, they made the Pirates of the Caribbean work in the second one. That was the thing.
There you go. There you go.
I would bet money. I
want to see Ray and
it would be cool.
And Mickey. I want to see Ray and Mickey team up.
Ray would definitely be the supporting character in your team for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, they go to Tatooine, right? Fight some monsters and all that. Fight some sand rats.
That's what I want to see.
Some wampas. Sure. Okay.
So.
Okay. Well.
All right.
Well, hold on. We have to mention, you skirted the issue, Dan. The biggest news out of all of this stuff, there was controversy over this. Sora's shoes. Dan. Fans are up in arms because Sora's got big old goofy shoes. Not anymore. They reduced his shoe size and the internet is going nuts.
They should. They should. I would be mad too if they made me with goofy shoes and I didn't originally have goofy shoes. They should. They honestly should just make a partnership with Nike and put Jordans on Sora's feet.
Right? Yeah, get some like nice kicks. I don't know why they did that. I guess maybe they want to go with a more realistic style, but
yeah.
And I get why fans are upset because you're used to a certain style, right? He's very stylized Sora.
What if the Keyblade was actually a lightsaber? People would go bananas for the wrong reason.
They go bananas for the right reason. They want the Keyblade. I think they want the Keyblade. Well, I mean, it would still be a Keyblade. It would just have a light where like the key is on the end. You could make
no. I'm saying, what if they substitute the Keyblade for an actual lightsaber? I think people would go bananas.
Well, they wouldn't do that though, right? It has to be a key, right? It has to be like a key with a handle and all that. Yeah. But all
right. That's it for the news. Dave, anything interesting happening this weekend? This Easter Passover weekend?
I mean, Easter's Easter. I'm going to see the family.
Other than seeing the family?
But big news, Dan. Big news. Next week is Pax East 2022. And I know you're not going to be going, and I'm very sad that you're not going. We're breaking tradition. It's the first PAX back after the weird pandemic, right? We made it to 2020. We couldn't do 2021 because it was like all online. It was a little bit different. We didn't go.
All you gotta do is as soon as you get there, FaceTime me at the limited run booth so I can see what they got.
I mean, I'm definitely going to be hitting that up first.
And then I'll zell you the money right away.
Right, exactly. Drop it in the account. You just drop like $500 on my account. I'll get you everything there because I know you want everything.
I know this is not going to be at limited run, but I need Grim Fandango. I should have bought it last time we were there in 2020.
Come on, man.
I passed on it. I should have just got it.
Yeah,
I need
Grim Fandango
for the PS4. I need it for the PS4.
Speaking of old school adventure games, right? The Monkey Island series is coming back, and I think
that's true.
Ron Gilbert is going to be there. I think he's going to be there because Devolver Digital is having a booth, and they mentioned it. They're the ones that are producing it, I think. So there's because there's no LucasArts anymore. So I'm excited. If he's there, I'm going to make it a point to see him because he's a gaming legend, man.
Look, just as a side note, just want to say rest in peace to Gilbert Gottfried. Right, him and Bob Saget were super close. Didn't know that.
That's right.
Super close.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They were close friends, and both died within like less than a year of each other.
Yeah. So, that dude gave 0 Fs. He did. Most famously, I don't know if you know this story. When 9/11 happened, less than a month, couple weeks afterwards, they had the Comedy Central roast of Hugh Hefner, and Gilbert Gottfried was up there in the dais, and he made a joke. I'm gonna paraphrase a little bit, right? He made a joke that he said, I tried to get a plane out to the West Coast, but all of the flights were stopping at the Twin Towers. Weeks after that dude, and someone shouts out, too soon, which arguably is the soonest it could be to make that joke. And he wasn't, it's, comedy heals, whatever, whatever. He's just like, I'm gonna make this joke. And he went for it. 0 apologies.
I will say, you know what I love Gilbert Gottfried from? Mm-hmm. Problem Child 1, 2, and 3.
Oh my God! Yes,
I love Problem Child. I love Problem Child and John Ritter.
Right.
Sorry, I love John Ritter. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, John Ritter. Oh my God, all the greats.
Died too soon. Loved him in Problem Child. Mm-hmm. I thought that was great movies right there. Part 2 better than 1, even though 1 was great. Right? Sure.
Yeah. So, 3 a little bit. 1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, when the big bowling with the big rock with the hand rolled over just go see that movie. Those movies are great, but part 2 I thought was great. I watched that over and over. I rented it from Blockbuster. Watched it over and over.
That's classic. That's classic.
So
all right.
Okay, that's it.
That's episode 312 in the books, folks. We want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, and doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can check out all the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.